When I took my sabbatical, it completely changed my life. It changed everything for me. It was the most transformative time of my life. And to be honest with you, girl, I needed that time off. But I also understand that not everyone can just step away from their careers or their life in the way that I did. So I also realized later, after I got done with my sabbatical, that it doesn't you don't need a huge break to start living your life differently. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video, how you can actually start doing things in your life without taking a full break, and the small moments that you can do now to start feeling differently in your life. And girl, I wanted to record this video on my balcony. It's like I'm looking out there now, but it is spring in Florida and the people are outside. So it's a little bit too noisy out there, but I've talked about my sabbatical over this 100-day journey that I'm sharing here on YouTube. I've talked about it many times and how much of a transformative time it was for me in all ways, mentally, physically, emotionally. I was able to really get clear on how I wanted to live my life after career burnout and lose all that weight I had gained and burnout and excuse me, get off that anxiety medication that I was on just to go to work when I was in burnout. My sabbatical was the most transformative time of my life. And I still do believe that if possible, every professional woman at some point in their life should take a sabbatical, even if it's just 3 months, just for their own health and wellness. But I also understand that everyone can't do that just immediately. And what I have realized is that it does not require a full break to start choosing and living your life differently. And again, my sabbatical, girl, it was everything. And that's why I talk about it so much. But again, I know that there are barriers to just jumping out there. Most women aren't in that position. You still have responsibilities, you still have commitments, all of the things that we have. But I also want you to know that you're not stuck there. The things that you can start to do in small ways to give yourself a little bit of a break is to start building breaks into your days or your weeks. And I'm going to tell you how. First, it's something that I talked about in one of the rest videos, because I know that it's often very difficult for us to not be doing stuff and just being, especially when you're used to getting things done and you're in a season of where this is like your first time just trying something different because what you've been doing just isn't working. I know it can be very difficult to just be with yourself. So it starts with building some time in your day. I would say day. But again, I know if that feels, like, girl, I can't start doing this every day. Start building time in your week, just like you do in your professional careers and your corporate careers. You put things on your calendar just for you. Put time on your calendar. You can start with something as small as actually stepping away from your desk, stepping away from your laptop, stepping away from your work area, and having a meal break during the day. Girl, I remember in my leadership career, and even before my leadership career, when I was in my clinical career, it was just so ingrained in me to just eat lunch in the department, eat lunch at my desk, kind of like you're a working lunch, not actually stepping away and eating, sitting down, eating a meal, actually tasting the meal and eating. And I know my story might sound different because even at least I was taking the time to eat. I know so many women that just work through the day and don't eat, don't drink. Now, girl, I couldn't do that. Now, listen, I got to eat me something. But it can start with something as small as that, like that. And I know you might be thinking, Erica, well, what's that's going to do? What that does is that starts your brain to think, okay, I am starting to prioritize myself. I am starting to give myself something that I need. Like, girl, you got to eat. You got to nourish your body. And even if you're not the type of person that, oh, I don't eat lunch or whatever, still step away, block some time in your calendar. And it doesn't have to be the same time every day. I know for me, I start to get hungry around the same time every day. So my lunch is oftentimes around the same time every day, but it's not like right on the dot, like, oh, I have to eat at 12 noon. But start with just taking some time, something as small as taking a real meal break during the day is a great start. Also, stepping away, especially for us that work, on laptops at our desk, like sitting. Even I have a standing desk. I work from home. I have a standing desk, so I bring it up and down. Again, I've curated my space. My work desk is by the window so I can watch the birds and the squirrels and all the things, but I still take breaks throughout the day to go outside and walk. Something as small as that. And to me, girl, that just gives me so much. I don't know, just going on a walk. And I've talked about this a lot over the 100 days journey. Walking every day just do something for me. It just really does. Just stepping away from the desk. And girl, I walk multiple times a day. Sometimes I'll just step away from my desk, do a lap, and then come back. But even just taking some time to do that. Also, what we have in my 9 to 5, a part of the year that we consider like a busy season where a lot of movement happens. I'll just say it like that. So girl, during those times, I'll have if you've watched my other videos about some of the hobbies that I like, I'll have my cross stitching little baggie right next to my desk. So sometimes when I just need a break, I will just push myself, like in my rolling chair, I'll push myself back away from my desk, take out my cross stitch, and I'll just cross stitch for like 15 minutes. Again, for me, it allows my brain to like switch onto something like that doesn't require a lot of thought. That to me is like beauty because I'm creating something that is visually beautiful. But again, just taking that like 15 minutes, those are some quick examples of like how you can start incorporating these small breaks into your day. And don't just do it one time. That's why I said try to do it daily. Put it in your block. If that sounds like too much for you, do it weekly. Do it 3 times a week, but make the commitment to yourself to take those breaks, not to be productive, not to do anything, but to just be with yourself. Again, the lunch break isn't being productive. That's just being for yourself. The taking the walk isn't being productive. That's just being with yourself. Me doing my cross stitching, at the desk, but my mind done switched off, isn't trying to be productive. It's just me doing a hobby that I genuinely enjoy. I want you to just take that time for yourself. It does not have to start with a big break, a sabbatical like I did. Again, for me, my health and wellness was such in a state of duress. I had to do that. But you can start by just building in these small daily breaks for yourself and then asking yourself hard questions. You guys know that my video that went viral was about me in the video, saying, checking in with myself. Does this still work for me? How does this feel in my body? So asking yourself questions like, How do I want to feel today? How do I want to move throughout the day? How would today look for me if I'm not rushing through it? How do I want to feel differently? Like asking yourself these questions, getting honest with yourself, and then making a decision to become that woman. Because again, we can do all of the things, but if we're not embodying that thing, if you're just, and let me tell you this too, if you're just going to do it just to like, oh, well, this is what I'm supposed to do, don't even bother. Because if you're not doing it from a place of, this is what I need, this is what my body needs, this is how I want to feel, it's going to be hard for you to embody that woman. And it's going to be more difficult for the breaks that you're trying to build into your schedule to actually stick, because you're doing it from a place of, oh, just checking the box, just like you do all your other work, or just like you've been doing for years. And that's why you feel like you're in this position right now. And I've shared, the ways and how I do it currently to this day. I still take a meal break every day. It doesn't have to be the same time. I still walk every day. I do my cross stitching during busy season. I do a whole lot of things, girl. I'm not waiting for the perfect time. I had that time during my sabbatical, but even now after my sabbaticals, back in a 9 to 5, building a business, doing all of the things, I'm still making time for those daily breaks because I need it. I really need it. And yes, like I said, for some women, a bigger break might be needed. It was needed for me at some point in my life. And I know there's ways that I've talked about this in other videos, but if it's something that you feel like you can't do right now, maybe explore things like FMLA, medical leave, or if you're going into a new job or a new role, maybe trying to negotiate more time off in your benefits package. But I just want to bring home the message that you don't have to wait for any of that to begin to start building in breaks for yourself, time for yourself in your everyday regular schedule. So if you've been feeling like, I just need a break, I just need to get away, I just need to do something different, you might not need to just leave your life completely, take a big long break, or take a sabbatical. You probably just need to start showing up in your life differently and start to, excuse me, build in those small intentional breaks every single day, every single week, and let them start to compound on themselves and try things out. Like people might say, well, I don't know what to do first. That's a part of the exploration. Try things, see if it works. If it doesn't, try something else. Like that's what this is all about, finding out what specifically works for you. But this can be your starting point. This is something you can start right now, today. You don't need to wait till next month, next week, next year. You can look at your calendar right now, today. Put some time in your calendar today, or at the very least, you can start tomorrow. Put some time in your schedule to take breaks throughout the day and to just be with yourself. I hope this was helpful. I really, and again, I've done both things. I've taken the big sabbatical. It was transformative for me. But now that I'm back in corporate America, navigating a 9 to 5, I still build in those daily breaks, girl. Daily breaks, they are a must, and they work. That's how I'm able to build a business, build a 9 to 5, prioritize rest, still have time with my friends, visit my parents, all of the things, because I'm taking time to take care of myself. It is so important. It is so important. If you've missed any of the other conversations that I've had on this 100-day journey, I've linked the playlist down in the description box. And I'm Erica Prevail, sharing daily conversations for women like you, helping you rework your relationship with ambition, capacity, rest, and creativity. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.